So, the new Call of Duty Black Ops 7 Day 1 update patch notes just went live, and we're going to be going over everything that's important that changed from beta to launch. If you are excited for Black Ops 7, feel free, drop a like in the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on those post notifications, and after watching the video, let me know down in the comment section if these changes are a W or a complete L. I'm curious what they have to say, what was changed. They also have the hard copy patch notes, which we are going to be going over, but they put a video together so we can listen to what they have to say and why they made changes.
Hey everyone, Matt Schrantz, Design Director at Treyarch here.
Hi, I'm Yale Miller, the Senior Director of Production, and we're here today for our final dev talk before the worldwide launch of Black Ops 7. First off, just a huge thank you to the community. We've been making a ton of improvements to this gigantic game with multiplayer, zombies, the epic campaign. There's so much to talk about, and the team is ridiculously proud of this game. Right now, we're going to talk a bunch about the changes that are coming for day one and some teases about some stuff that is coming post-launch.
So the team has been very hard at work taking in all of the data coming out of the beta. The goal is really the most balanced meta for day one in multiplayer. We've got a ton of changes. There's been a huge pass across all attachments and weapons. Attachments specifically, we're doing a big balance pass because you can kind of index more on damage range, bullet velocity, movement speeds. So we're trying to find that right balance kind of at a baseline, because you can index more and kind of stack more of those attributes compared to Black Ops 6. Additionally, SMGs have also had a big adjustment kind of coming out of the beta. Obviously, we had a small amount of weapons in the beta, but taking a look at that data and applying that across the board, we want to make sure that SMGs kind of live in their perfect window at their desired range, while also giving weapons like assault rifles and marksman rifles the kind of breathing room that they need to have. Another big change for us coming out of the beta that we're excited about is the complete rework of our shotgun damage tuning. So before, we were kind of relying just on pellet damage, and that was capped at 4 pellets. Now we have 2 sources of damage for shotguns, both baseline damage value and then the pellets, and then we've increased the cap on that pellet damage. And
I'm hoping they're not making the shotguns overpowered. Please! Look, you guys can say what you want, but Call of Duty, it ain't Battlefield. Shotguns should not be ridiculous in Call of Duty, because if the shotguns are overpowered, they're going to be running rampant every single lobby on every map, and things become unplayable. It's best to have the shotguns technically underperform in COD than have them be overpowered. Same with the light machine guns, because we all know what happened with Black Ops 2 LMGs, and honestly, all Black Ops titles, shotguns and LMGs, when they're good, they're insanely good, and everything else is pretty much useless. And we don't want that to happen. I know for a fact the devs don't want that to happen.
What that's going to do is give the team a much more granular ability to tune those shotguns. And for the players like yourself, that will result in a more consistent shotgun damage output.
Okay. So obviously that's a ton of info. How are our fans going to get all the details, though?
So I would direct everyone to the full patch notes for all of the nitty-gritty details. Another fun one is we've made a huge pass on our weapon XP earn rates. So if you're comparing to Black Ops 6, you will max level a weapon about 25% faster than you did last year. We've made a lot of changes to some of the objective placements with overload, search and destroy bomb sites, and of course, we've taken a look at every single spawn point on every single map to ensure the best possible spawns on day one launch of multiplayer.
Yeah, hey, we'll see about that. We'll see about that. They say that every single year, the spawns are bad. Look, I don't even know what's going on. Every single first-person shooter, the spawns are bad in Battlefield, the spawns are bad in COD. You know what? It is what it is.
Coming out of the beta, everybody had a lot of feedback on doors. We said this before, but the team has also went through every map again to make sure that we can remove as many doors as possible where it makes sense. And then, of course, we've been making lighting passes to ensure that signature Black Ops vibrancy for the launch of Black Ops 7.
Yeah, make the game vibrant.
20v20 skirmish.
Yeah, so the team has been hard at work on making a ton of updates to skirmish 20v20. We're very excited for everyone to get their hands on it on day one. So some more exciting details for our brand new 6v6 overload Overload, and of course the new third mode for CDL and competitive. We've gotten a lot of feedback coming out of the beta, and of course our time with the pro players and the CDL. Coming in season 1, we've now got the ability to force a pistol when you pick up the objective overload device, and then we've reworked our overtime mechanic to allow for some more exciting plays. So this one will, if you are down by 1 and you are holding the objective when the round ends, we're actually going to give you a little bit more time to try to push that objective forward and capture, at which point it will go to that fun sudden death overtime. Those are the big changes coming for season 1 and Overload. The team has been hard at work across all game modes, including Overload, on some more tuning changes. So we've got some fun changes for perks.
Perk adjustments.
The first of which, we've increased the minimap visibility radius for the perk Vigilance. Our brand new perks Blast Link and Charge Link have increased score assist radius. We've increased the elimination assist event score for Tactician Specialty. And then don't forget about all of the changes that we made based off of your feedback coming out of the beta for perk distribution and some of those combos to make for chunkier perks.
They went ahead and reworked some of the perks. We're going to go over that in this vid today as well.
We're actually reducing how long your HUD is scrambled when you get hit by an EMP grenade. For the Needle Drone Lethal, we're increasing the range at which you'll see the HUD warning, just so you're a bit more aware of when those bad guys are coming your way. We're making a big pass across all field upgrades on their charge and earn rates, so you can get those a bit more consistently. For score streaks, one that I'm personally excited about is we've drastically improved the messaging when you earn those. I'll speak for myself. I earn a lot of score streaks, so I want to make sure that I don't miss those notifications.
That's what I'm saying, because you can
we've
tell
made a
when you
big
got
pass
them.
across hits to kill for all score streaks to make sure that everything's kind of in a really well-balanced state there. And another really exciting one is we've made a pass for all of our overclocks across lethals, tacticals, field upgrades, and score streaks. So you're going to be earning those overclocks a little bit more quickly and more consistently. Obviously, we're very excited about the next level Omni movement with the addition of wall jump. The team's been hard at work, some of which we've talked about, the improvements on the consistency and the fluidity for mantles coming out of the beta. And then, of course, we're continuing to take a look at our slide tuning, just making sure we're in a really good spot to where you don't feel forced to have to use that in an engagement. And like always, we will continue to work with you on our movement tuning in post-launch.
The team's obviously been pushing on visuals,
They're trying
audio,
this year, y'all, for real,
just overall fidelity of our animations, visibility.
They released last year.
So much work has been going in, and we're really excited for everyone to get to see all 18 of our multiplayer maps.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the Black Ops 7 Day 1 update patch notes. They have the written patch notes, which are going to be going a little bit more in detail. But if you're curious when you can actually have access to Black Ops 7 multiplayer zombies, they have the world chart with the time zones, so you know when to start to pre-order the game, pre-download the game, and when you can get on. I recommend actually pre-ordering it now, pre-downloading it now, because you can, so you're ready to go when the game does go live, especially if you are on console. Now, here we go, y'all. We have some changes to aim assist. Following the Black Ops 7 beta, we discussed our plans to adjust aim assist, and today we are sharing the changes that will be coming to multiplayer at launch. These changes will also go live in Warzone with Season 1. Our goal with the adjustments is to create a more balanced and competitive experience for all players, regardless of input choice. It also important to us that these changes preserve the core feel of Call of Duty controller gameplay, because Call of Duty is a controller game. When looking at engagements between similarly skilled controller and keyboard and mouse players, we found that controller is slightly favored to win at close ranges, and keyboard and mouse is favored at longer ranges. A lot of people love to say that it's harder to use a keyboard and mouse at long range, and they're literally saying that it's the exact opposite. In addition to collecting data, we have also followed community discussions on the effectiveness of rotational aim assist. Based on the data and feedback, our launch adjustments focus on the strength of rotational aim assist at short and long range, as well as requirements to fully activate rotational aim assist. We look forward to hearing your feedback on these changes, and we will be gathering more data to continue our push for a level and competitive playing field in Black Ops 7. And also, you can see here in Black Ops 6, we updated rotational aim assist strength at close ranges to scale over a short distance. But in Black Ops 7, we are increasing the range before full rotational aim assist strength is achieved. Additionally, we have slightly increased rotational aim assist strength at very long ranges. A new right stick aiming requirement has also been added to rotational aim assist. Previously, full rotational aim assist strength was achieved regardless of aiming direction or which stick was being controlled. With this update, the player's right stick movement must be tracking an enemy target for rotational aim assist to activate at full strength. If the conditions are not met, rotational aim assist strength will not be reduced. For example, if only the left stick is being controlled during an engagement, rotational aim assist will be reduced. Okay, so if you need help with settings, make sure you guys stay tuned. I will be dropping a best settings video very soon, as well as another video explaining how to abuse the aim assist in Black Ops 7. So let's finally talk about the weapon balance coming within the Black Ops 7 Day 1 update. As you can see, Black Ops 7 is almost here, and there are quite a few tuning changes coming at launch for the weapons we had in beta. Like this past year, we are committed to posting a detailed list of every weapon and attachment change we make in Black Ops 7, as well as providing insight into the reasons for our changes. Today, we'll be previewing damage range changes to submachine guns and the M15 Mod 0 assault rifle, an overhaul to shotgun damage, and numerous attachment adjustments. When it comes to the attachment changes, you'll see that we pulled back slightly on some of the parts that improve damage range, bullet velocity, recoil control, and various movement speeds. Now that these attributes can be improved across more nodes, we are keeping tabs on how extreme they can get when stacking them. Even after these changes, going all in on an attribute will result in larger improvements than were possible in Black Ops 6. Interesting. And some weapons will be able to push to greater extremes than others in certain areas. Expect more frequent attachment tuning throughout the Black Ops 7 seasons, as build variety is core for us. That's good news. They're going to constantly update the game. As a final note, most weapon classes had jump penalties for ADS and sprint to fire slightly increased. There were two reasons for these adjustments. The first is that it's part of the balancing factor for wall jump. That makes sense during an engagement, and especially important now that the ADS during wall jump is baseline. They integrated that with dexterity. I should say dexterity, part of that is going to be integrated into the base game, so you don't have to run a perk to do that. The second reason is that there are more opportunities to reduce these penalties via attachments in Black Ops 7. That's good, including significant improvements on some prestige attachments. This will allow players to tech into combat movement and also let some weapons shine in this area. All right, y'all. You guys can see here, we have changes made to the M15 Mod 0. The M15 Mod 0 is getting a new mid-damage range. This will make it more difficult to achieve a 4-shot kill with headshots beyond close range, and these are the new values for this weapon. And it also received a number of attachment changes, those being the recoil control as well as the damage range and movement. The MXR-17 followed the same pattern with the recoil control, damage range, and movement attachments adjusted, as well as the Peacekeeper MK1. But you can see here, they improved the tac stance spread, which is now 10% or up by 10%. Interesting. But again, all the other attachments follow suit. For submachine guns, we've pulled back on the range on submachine guns across the board and moved some of it back to barrel attachments. We want SMGs to have a well-defined role as close quarters weapons with damage upside and the choice to build further into that or try to make them more effective at a distance. So if you want to build a long-range submachine gun, you're gonna have to put attachments on it to do so. That makes complete sense. It's crazy that Call of Duty has done that and Battlefield 6 is struggling with that because the submachine guns are crazy on that game. Now the Raiden 45K, you can see here, they've made adjustments to the ranges, so it is more in line as well as the attachments. The Razor 9mm followed the same pattern, but the ranges reduced and they made a number of changes to the attachments. The Dravik 45, this was the best SMG, arguably the best gun in the beta. The Dravik 45 was a high performer in the Black Ops 7 beta. As we mentioned in the beta patch notes, low recoil is core to this weapon's identity and something we want to maintain. The range adjustments for the Javik 45 are heavier than on the other SMGs, and it's receiving some hipfire spread nerfs. The damage and headshot changes are minor and create a path toward reducing long-range TTK with multiple headshots without affecting the max damage range. The goal is for the Javik 45 to be an accurate weapon that can consistently hit targets at longer ranges, but sacrifice some speed and power of other weapons in class. So they went ahead and adjusted it accordingly for the damage range, which makes sense. Now, they went ahead and adjusted the shotguns. They spoke on this in the dev talk. Shotguns are undergoing a significant rework to their damage mechanics. They now have 2 damage values, pellet damage and base damage. Pellet damage is applied for each pellet that hits a target, which is how shotguns worked previously. The base damage is applied once per shot that hits an enemy, regardless of how many pellets hit. Having these 2 separate damage values gives us much more control over the consistency of shotguns across ranges. It enables us to establish a damage floor using the base damage and keep pellets damage lower to prevent extreme spikes. As such, we are now allowing all pellets to do damage, where we previously capped damage pellets to 4. We'll be keeping a close eye on shotgun performance as we dial in this new damage profile, which will help shotguns feel great to use while minimizing frustration for victims. Oh, Jesus. Woo! In addition to the damage changes, we've also made some improvements to slugs. We want slugs to be a viable playstyle that opens up more cases for shotguns outside of close quarters. Lastly, we've increased the hip fire spread while sprinting with the gung ho perk. This is another one we're watching to make sure this meaningful mid-range trade-off when building this aggressive playstyle. Okay, these shotguns might be busted here in Black Ops 7, no cap. You guys can see the new damage profiles for the M10 Breacher, as well as the attachment changes for the Dragon's Breath, as well as the slug. Interesting. The Echo 12, the new damage profile, attachments, the Dragon's Breath, as well as the slug. And this is the new Akita shotgun. This was not in the beta, so they just went ahead and showcased all of the values with this weapon. Now, light machine guns, they made changes to the LMGs, the MK.78. Vertical recoil control improvement reduced from 10% to 8%. So they pretty much adjusted the LMGs very similar to the assault rifles, which is interesting, or at least they adjusted one LMG. The marksman rifles, the M8A1, they adjusted the recoil control. They reduced it. They reduced the movement speed, and the damage range has been reduced. Sniper rifles further improved rechamber stability from where it was changed to during the beta. And they went ahead and adjusted the ranges on here as well. And the vertical recoil penalty has actually been reduced for some of these attachments. Wow. Some of the extended mags are going to be reducing the sprint to fire speed. So overall, I feel like they did a proper patch for the snipers. Pistols, tac stand spread increased by 22%. And they followed the same suit as far as attachment changes than a lot of the assault rifles and submachine guns. Dakota 9, similar changes. Launchers addressed an issue that could cause projectile trajectory to deviate, and its intended travel is now going to be perfectly straight. Addressed an issue where interrupting charge up with a melee could result in firing an instant shot afterwards. Well, that would have been ridiculous. I never ran into that in the beta. Now, here we go. Weapon attachments, general. Mobility spread muzzle. This muzzle now improves tac stand spread and all hip spread values, jump, slide, dive spread values, and they're improved by 10%. Mobility foregrip. This underbarrel now improves movement speed and no longer improves sprint speed. Fast mags and flip mags. Most fast mags and flip mags now have had their starting and max stock ammo increased to compensate for smaller mag sizes. And tactical spread stock, excuse me. This stock now improves all hip spread values, including jump, slide, and dive spread. All weapons had the attack stance spread improvement increased by 2%, except for submachine guns, which were improved by 5%. And they adjusted the millimeter scanner. We're excited about the millimeter scanner return to Black Ops. The key with this one is to find a sweet spot where it was useful, but not outright optimal in all situations. In beta, it was a bit too limited, so we're giving the scan more range and increasing the movement threshold where enemies no longer appear on scans. The new movement threshold will now catch more players on scans when they are moving in crouch, as well as strafing and ADS with some of the slower weapons. For most weapons, improvement movement speeds with attachments should push you back over the new threshold. As a reminder, Cold-Blooded perk will also counter scans outright. This is another one that we'll keep an eye on as the attachment meta develops. We'll see about that. Increased scan distance from 15 meters to 30. Increased maximum movement speed to appear on scans from 2 milliseconds to 2.5. And they also made a number of changes to multiplayer, the maps, the modes, perks, combine certain perks into other existing perks to create more meaningful choices. Gearhead gets Quartermaster benefits. Awesome. Assassin gets Vendetta benefits. Close Shave gets Bruiser benefits. Engineer gets Shadow benefits. Tracker gets Hunter Instinct benefits. Added increased minimap visibility to Vigilance. Slightly increased assist score radius of Charge Link and Blast Link. And they also increased the Tactician Combat Specialty Elimination score. They made adjustments to equipment, like they said in the dev talk, field upgrades, as well as the score streaks here, improved messaging of score streaks earned and ready states because you couldn't hear anything in the beta. And they also went ahead and adjusted some of the streaks as well. These are all the changes they made for the multiplayer day one update. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys think. Obviously, there's going to be a lot more updates with Black Ops 7 as the days and weeks go on, and I'm going to keep you guys updated on all of it. Overall, I think the changes are a W. We're going to see how the shotguns fall in line. Hopefully, they fall in line, but I think everything looks pretty good. It's going to be the day one update, so we're going to have a bunch of time to figure out the best weapons, the best attachments, and overall the best meta loadouts. So if you guys are excited for all that, feel free, drop a like in the vid, subscribe to the channel, turn on those post notifications, spin your boy ears, and I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one. Deuces.